Greetings of peace, and thanks for tuning in. May the peace and blessings of God's source be with you. So in these videos, we forecast the Schumann resonance spikes by, yes, manifestation. By raising our vibrations, we raise each other's vibrations higher, and also the planetary and universal vibrations higher as well. So as I mentioned in my previous video, that I forecasted that we were going to get multiple Schumann resonance spikes into the plus 40s. Now we almost got there. We got two Schumann resonance spikes here at 32. This one and this one here was at 32. And we got a 23 here, and on the Sunday, which doesn't show on this chart right now, we also had a 23 on that Sunday. So we got several Schumann resonance spikes. Now I really tried to get it to go plus 40. Here on Thursday I had the day off, and I was reading a lot of Quran and embodying that, and really raised my vibration quite high to help boost the Schumann resonance spikes. And we did get some results out of there, as we see here and here. These areas here, I was reading I was reading Quran here, to help boost the Schumann resonance, which we did get some results in that. Now I want to explain why I couldn't get it to plus 40. Now the Ascension process is sort of like a spiritual dance, where we take 2 steps forward and then 1 step back in this dance of raising our vibration. So if you recall that previously I mentioned that last week I forecasted that we were going to get multiple plus 40 Schumann resonance spikes, which we did. We got about 5 or 6 Schumann resonance spikes in the amplitude as high as 84, I think was the highest. So we got a lot of high vibe energy in last week, and what happens is that a lot of people need to absorb that and embody that, and incorporate that, and process all that higher vibration. So what sometimes can happen, or what I've noticed over the years, is that there needs to be some sort of a cool-off period to absorb those higher light codes. And that's what happened this week. So I really did try, like here on Thursday, I had the day off, and I was reading a lot of Quran and doing a lot of my practices to raise the vibration. But I just couldn't get it to break the 40 power level amplitude mark. But we got close. We got 232 spikes levels here in the power level. So it didn't allow me to raise the Earth. Has some sort of regulation with regulate the energies with God, to make sure that the things stay balanced, that people have time to incorporate these energies, and they're not too powerful to throw people off balance. So it didn't allow me to get into the plus 40, but we still got to get some good Schumann resonance spikes here as well. So I want to explain some of the ways that I raise the Schumann resonance, and that is how we can raise the Schumann resonance together is by embodying God's source codes. I do this by reading the Quran, praying 5 times a day, remembrance of God's source in many different ways, like the attributes of God, that God is unique. He is the unique creator of all that exists. He is all powerful. He's omnipotent. He is all knowing, all seeing, all hearing. God is omnipresent. God is present everywhere. I do this by giving charity, practicing forgiveness, gratitude, meditation, and tapping into that oneness, that we are all one within God, the unique creator of all that exists. So things like charity, as mentioned in the Quran here, behold, you are those who are called upon to spend in the cause of Allah, yet some of you are stingy. Remember that whoever is stingy only against his own self. Otherwise, Allah is self-sufficient, having no needs, and it is you who are the needy ones. So as human beings, obviously we are needy, and since we are all one, being stingy to another is being stingy to oneself. So giving charity to another is like giving charity to yourself. And the way that God created the creation is that by doing good deeds, these are multiplied. So the other day I gave a $50 tip, and then the next 2 jobs that I got a $100 tip and a $50 tip. So that $50 was turned into $150 within a few weeks. So I'll just give you like an example. Like same with forgiveness. You forgiving another is like forgiving yourself. So since we are all one, everything is like a mirror to each other. So it mentions in the Quran that it's Allah's will to lighten your burdens, for humankind was created weak, and we have certainly created a human being to face obstacles and struggle hard to achieve a marvelous goal. So these human bodies were, created weak by, alien genetic scientists long back in the day. But this created an opportunity for higher souls to come in and overcome these genetic flaws and, come back to the oneness of God and implementing, God's will on the earth. So we also mentioned, I mentioned that this is a free will cause and effect universe. So had Allah enforced his will, he would surely have made you all one nation, following one and the same faith. But he leaves in error him who wishes to remain so, and guides him who wishes to be guided. And you shall surely be called upon to account for your deeds and conduct. So God gave us all free will. If God didn't, then he could make us all, one nation, following the same faith. But as we can see, there's such diversity of opinions and thought in the world. So this is a cause and effect universe as well. Verily, Allah does not change the condition of a people until they first change their ways and their minds. So if we change the way we think and our actions, this will change our outer reality, as what goes on within is projected outwards. Again here, and whoever commits a sin deliberately commits it only against himself. Allah is all-knowing, all-wise. So since we are all one, doing harm or committing harmful sins deliberately to another is only like you committing against yourself. Since we are all one, it's like a mirror. Disorder and corruption has prevailed on land and sea owing to the evil deeds which people have wrought. The result will be that he will make them taste in this world the fruit of some of their misdeeds, so they may return to the right path, giving up their evil ways. So, doing good deeds, God will multiply that, and if we do evil deeds, God will also give that back we'll taste a bit of that in this world, so that we can return to the right path. We can see the wrongs of our ways by bad things happening to us. We can, change our ways, change our minds and our actions. And whatever calamity befalls you is of your own making, and yet he goes on forgiving a great many of your sins out of his mercy. So God is very forgiving. Whatever calamity befalls us is our own making, because we're creating, you could say, what goes on in this reality, so to speak, because what goes on within us will get projected outside of us as a mirror. And, God mentions the life of this world is nothing but a temporary enjoyment of delusive things. This world is the world of the ego, of false identities. It's the world of illusion. We're much more than where we're born, what race, what gender, what, social status, financial status we are. We are much more than just this one life. We are, since we are all one, we could say we are all things. And it's important to practice raising the human resonance and our own vibrations, to practice celibacy and marriage, and to have limited marital sex, and not to be strict with our ego, and to make sure that we combine all these practices, as I mentioned here before, and whatever practices that work well for you in your advancement and ascension and raising your vibration. So, practice what it comes easy to you. Try not to be too strict on the ego. And, understanding the ego is very important as well, as we can see the flaws of the ego and, try to take actions and thoughts to counter those, to be more in the mind of peace and in harmony and balance, and practicing and understanding gratitude, charity, forgiveness, tapping into that oneness, remembering the attributes of God. We are all one in God, and really reading the Quran, since the authentic words of God, really helps embody God's source code. So these are some of the techniques I use to help raise the Schumann resonance, and I hope this helps you, so we can raise the Schumann resonance higher. So my forecast for next week, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much I'm going to try to pump it. The the planet Earth and the collective might need to take a break. So I'm going to say there's probably going to be some Schumann resonance spikes, but they're not going to hit 40. I think it's going to be some sort of similar to this week. We're going to get in between the 20 to 30 Schumann resonance spikes. Let's say 15 to 30 amplitudes in the Schumann resonance spikes. Maybe we'll have a few of those. And so that'll be my forecast. So we're still going to get a lot of green in the Schumann resonance, which is of the heart chakra, the love frequency. And I think we're going to get some medium Schumann resonance spikes between 15 and 30. I'm not going to try to push it too hard. I'm going to let the cooling off phase happen, and stay balanced. And I'll be in touch again in a new video shortly. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and you take God's source as your protector and shield. Take care. Peace.